We are back with another race here in Season 8 of ACC at the DRL. My name is Dan Delatorre, bringing you all the action on the track. Want to take a quick moment to thank all our Patreon subscribers. Without you, we couldn't do what we do, so thank you so much for being you and being part of Patreon. As you guys know, we have a great schedule this season. Zandvoort was last week. This week we are at one of my personal favorite tracks, Laguna Seca, one that a lot of these drivers do not seem to be a fan of, so sorry about that, guys. We got a mystery track next week and a lot of other fun tracks on the schedule. Now let's take a look. After the stewards got their hands on the drivers, how did they finish off? Platinum class, Liam held on to the win, Neil Kerbel in second, Cooper Atherton in third, Kyle Hirsch in fourth, and Valerio Granito in fifth place for the Platinum division. For the Gold division, Daniel Hirsch had a great battle with Morgan and Sam, and Daniel Hirsch was able to hold on that first place victory. Morgan, aka Burt Macklin, did get a penalty after the race, and that moved him and Sam swapped positions. So Sam finished in second, Morgan in third, Gav Cook in fourth, Professor Chronotis in fifth, and Nicholas Mari in sixth. Taking a look at the silver, we had Arturas Hermanis in first place, Tyler Morgan finished in second, Juan Lopez in third, Iqbal was in fourth, and Bradley Cooper in fifth. And finally for our bronze, John Malott got a big win, Tarugo came in second, Creamy Von Cream is in third, Low Tech Bandit in fourth, Will Sanchez in fifth, and Sathsara in sixth. We did have quite a few disqualifications with the pit lanes last week, so we hope to get that done. Let's dive right in the action. We are actually in qualifying right now. So let's get that set up and let's take a look at some of our drivers on the track. We are following along with Arturas Hermanis right now, who is currently in pole position. Let me get a better timetable for you. Arturas Hermanis is in pole position currently. Tarugo is in pole position, it looks like, for the bronze category. John Malott is in second. John Malott is about 2 seconds behind Tarugo. And Tyler Morgan is a little bit behind them as well. Now, this week we do have a special guest in the commentary booth with us. One of our favorite drivers on the track, the Minister of Defense, the Great Wall of Brawn, the one, the only, Spencer Braun. Spencer, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, man. Doing well. How about you?
I am doing great. Happy to be here. It seems like we've worked through a lot of the technical difficulties. For anyone in track, let me know, is the game volume okay? Is the voice audio okay? But yeah, Spencer, we're great to have you here. And rumors around the paddock are that you just got back from a big international press tour in Japan. Tell us a little bit about your experience there.
Oh, yeah, man. What an unbelievable country full of unbelievable people. And I got to say, a highlight was definitely hitting the Shibuya Crossing, the famous Tokyo Drift scene, and what a place that was. So yeah, absolutely, super fun. So excited to be back. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you plan on being on the track next week for our mystery race?
Yeah, so I just had a little bit of back troubles, and sitting in the sim rig is a little tough on it. So I'm taking lots of rest right now, but I'm hoping to be back next week. And Gavin and I can work towards our constructors' points. I'm a little bit bummed that I'm missing out, but excited to be joining you anyways. I like what you've done with the place. You've decorated as well. It's company.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, so we are still following along with Hermanis. Let's take a look at who is out on the track. I want to try to get the intervals up so we can kind of take a look on the stream as we go along. Chef, welcome to the chat. Glad to have you here. Hope all is well. We are excited for another great night of racing here at DRL. So we've got Sathsara that's put up some great times here. He is only 4/10 behind Hermanis, although Lopez in the silver division has taken over that place as well. Alan Leung is making a great return. Happy to have him back on the track. He is still sitting in the pit lanes, but let's ride along with Tarugo. and see what Tarugo is up to. So as typical here in DRL, we always see the paces increase and increase as we go. I've been surprised at how few drivers have been, let's say, enthusiastic about this track here, because I've said it a few times that this is one of my favorite tracks to drive. Spencer, what's your feelings on Laguna Seca?
I really like this place. I'm a big fan of tracks that have a lot of elevation change and a lot of directionality. Directionality change, like berms and things like that. And I had a quick chat with the drivers before I came and joined and took a bit of a poll, and it seemed like most of the people, at least in the voice chat there, were very supportive of the same thought, that they really enjoy this track. So yeah, we should be up for some good time here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a track that also I think lends itself to some good racing. There's a lot of good turns where you can kind of throw it in on the inside or even make some overtakes on the outside if you can carry just enough speed through as drivers get defensive. As again, we're following along with Juan Lopez here. So we're looking, and Hermanis does have the best time here of a 123.2. Not too far behind him is, well, I guess pretty far behind him is Tarugo, who's leading the bronze class. 1 second behind him, almost exactly. Juan Lopez is 2/10 behind Tarugo. Satsara is 3/10 behind Tarugo. Malat is half a second behind him. Creamy Von Cream is 7/10 behind Tarugo. So we have quite a battle here in the bronze division. Artur Samani seems to have a great gap on it. Tyler Morgan right now is a 124.4, so he's about 1.7 seconds off Romani, so he's got a lot of work to do to make that up. Bradley Cooper is here. He is sitting in the pit lane, so he might be choosing not to qualify. It looks like we have about 4 drivers here in our silver class, so great standings for all of them. We do have a few silver drivers who were unable to make the first 2 races of this season, so we expect to see that class fill up a little bit more as the season goes.
And Arthur's, just as a quick note, man, his pace picked up a lot in the last 2 seasons here. He's really become a record. I'm not super surprised that he's set a blistering time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of the drivers who, when he actually started in DRL, he started down in the AM class, and I'll never forget his first race because he took me out about 6 times and DM'd me after about connection issues, but with some air quotes there. But no, nonetheless, he has improved a lot, and he could almost be competing in our gold class, and he will probably find himself in there next season. Let's look at him as he's sitting in the pits. So let's not look at him as he teleported back. Let's take a look at Creamy Von Cream. Creamy Von Cream is a new driver on the grid here. Some have said the creamiest of them all, as he's going to work his way down towards turn 1 here as he gets ready to start a lap. Nope, he just finished a lap and he is returning to the pits. So the driver's got about 20 seconds for anyone out on track to see if they want to get another lap in. We're falling around with Low Tech Bandit as he works his way around. He has car 58 right behind him. That is Juan Lopez. So I don't know if that was intentional by Juan getting that close to him, but that does not always work out well for you, as we're going to look, and Juan is going to overtake. It looks like Low Tech has just kind of given him that, as Juan's going to push his pace down. And with that, we are finished with our first half of qualifying. Artur Simanis is going to finish in pole position for silver. Juan Lopez will have second place. Tyler Morgan will be in third place for the silver division, followed by Bradley Cooper in the fourth. And for the bronze division, Tarugo is going to get pole position. Satsara is lined up next to him in second. Malat will be in third. Creamy Von Cream in fourth. Low Tech Bandit in fifth. Will Sanchez in sixth. And Alan Leung will be pulling up the rear of the bronze class. Now we are going to get on with the golds. it looks like driver number 3, Cooper Atherton, is leading us out of the pits. We have seen in our server timetables, Cooper Atherton has put up some blistering times, and in his practice sessions has broken the DRL lap record. We will see if he can carry that momentum out on track, but Cooper Atherton is here as a commentator's favorite. Fingers crossed we do not give him the old commentator's curse for his Cooper bots out here tonight. So Spencer, when you're out there going through qualifying, when you're in your first laps or two and you're going out there, what is your mindset? Are you taking a mindset of every lap I need to put up my best pace, or are you someone who really relies on, let me put up a banker lap and then see how I can improve it from there?
Yeah, I think probably the former. My goal is usually to put in a fairly safe one, because my consistency in qualifying is known to be very good. So for me, it's about getting that banker lap in there and then trying to push the limits from there, which win some, lose some when it comes to that. So I think everybody's got a little bit of their own style when it comes to how they approach qualifying. Some guys are just full pace right out of the gate. Some guys like to try to ramp it up. So it's curious to see how this works out.
Yeah, and we are riding along with Cooper here, who's really using the edge of the track limits here. And take a look on the hood of the car here from Cooper as he works his way down the famous corkscrew. Yeah, absolutely. Now, Spencer, are you a driver who pits during qualifying to either add some fuel or change tires, or do you just load up the fuel for enough to get through as many laps as you can?
I would love to pretend that I have enough fuel to change tires. I've definitely got it. So I get sometimes when the guys pile up, right, the first lap or two, it can be tough to kind of get back to the pace. So I generally just gas it up and go. I also don't run the gas real low. Porsche famously understeers real bad when the gas goes.
Fair enough. So it looks like Cooper Atherton did hit some track limits there.
Archer's holding on to that time.
And it looks like Bradley Cooper has come out of the pit lanes here with the wrong set of classes. So there must be some confusion there as to what he's doing, because it looks like he has moved into second place for the silver class. But yeah, Arturus Romani's really showing his pace. Off the first lap, he's ahead of all the gold and platinum drivers still. Like I said, Cooper Atherton's time did not count, so he must have had some sort of track limit somewhere. So he is back on the track, going to put up another time here as he is getting close to working his way to the final straight and see what he can put up. But right now we are riding along with Morgan Dino, the old commentator partner, currently in 5th place overall with that lap. And there's Cooper. 1 minute 21 seconds, 0.4. What a lap by Cooper Atherton. I mean, just
and Kerbel's in right behind him too.
Right off the bat, right behind him, but 0.8 is still quite a bit of difference there for Neil Kerbel.
Let's see what Dino's got in him.
Yeah, as he makes his way down the corkscrew. Yeah, the corkscrew.
I think the worst part of that corkscrew, Dan, is when you're coming up to it, you crest the top of the hill there before you got to drop in, and it's all blind. But towards the end of the race, when the tires start to go and the gas gets a little light, you got to move your braking spot back, otherwise you're not going. So it's tough to practice that in a race scenario or a pre-race scenario.
No, absolutely, and the corkscrew is one of the a track I would love. Well, not the corkscrew is a track, but the corkscrew is a part of this track that I would love to experience driving. I know, as it looks like. Whoa, what happened here? It looks like a bunch of drivers just disconnected. Let's see here. Is it me or is it them?
A little bit of commentator's curse for the commentators.
Yeah, Let me figure this out. Give me 1 second here. We are back. Sorry about that. We had a little server issue there, but we have worked our way through it. Let me get this set up. There we go. So we are back here. Let me get the camera. We are riding along with Morgan Dino. Sorry about that little issue there, guys. But we have worked it out and we are back in. The qualifying session is coming to an end. So let's take a quick second to see where we are in the standings. Cooper Atherton is holding off pole position. He is 8/10 ahead of Neil Kerbel. So he has a massive lead there. We have, let's see, Gavin Cook is in third place currently. A great time for him in the gold division. 1.2 seconds behind Cooper Atherton. Arturas Hermanis had a great time overall as he led the silver. Kyle Hirsch is in third overall in the platinum. Daniel Hirsch is in second overall for the gold. Bradley Cooper's in second for the silver. Morgan is in third for the gold. Professor Chronotis has a great time. Nicholas Mari's got a good time. Tarugo leads the bronze class. So we are set up for a great race here tonight, guys. I am really looking forward to what this has. Cooper is back, and Cooper has come back angry, right? If you guys remember last week, Cooper got disconnected during our session start, which we're sitting in right now. And he was not too happy about that. He had a great makeup race, but now he is back. We had a few people disconnect here, including ourselves, so we've got that out of the way in qualifying, and we are set up for a race. So let us take a little walk down the grid. In pole position is Cooper Atherton. Alongside him is Neil Kerbel in the Platinum Division. In third place overall, let me see if I can get a better camera here. In third place overall and pole position for the gold class is Car 69 Gavin Cook. In fourth place and pole position for the silver class, we have the one and only Arturas Hermanis. We have Kyle Hirsch, who is in fifth place overall, alongside his brother Daniel Hirsch, who is in second place in the gold class. In second place for the silver class, we have Bradley Cooper. Alongside him is Morgan Dino. Then we have Professor Chronotis and Nicholas Mari. So we have 3 gold drivers with a silver driver between a couple gold and platinums. So I know Morgan will definitely want to be getting through Bradley Cooper as quick as he can to get after Daniel Hirsch in what should be another great battle between these 2 drivers. In pole position for the bronze class, we have Tarugo. Next to Tarugo is Juan Lopez, followed by Marian Satsara. Next to him, we have John Malott, Creamy Von Cream, Tyler Morgan, Low Tech Bandit, Will Sanchez, and rounding out the grid is Alan Leung, who is back again. Yeah, thank you, Neil. I finally figured out a good camera here. Glad to have it. Spencer, do you have any predictions for our race tonight?
Yeah, Gavin wins everything. I just, I'm not biased. Definitely not my teammate, but that's what I think happens.
Yeah, Gavin wins everything tonight. And fun fact, Gavin actually has been both of our teammates, right? I raced with Gavin for 6 seasons before I moved to the commentator's booth, and he left me for a slightly better driver, we'll say.
It's good. But in actuality here, well, I don't know. I am a little bit biased. Obviously, the Cooper bots are out in force tonight, so that's hard to ignore. But Kerbel's a super strong contender, so we'll see. And then I'm looking down the gold. Gavin and Dino. That's going to be a good fight, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with Dino what happens with him. And, last week him and Daniel Hirsch had such a great battle with each other. Sam was in there as well, too. Sam can't make it tonight, unfortunately. But I would love to see another battle between them. Gav seems to have just some great pace here. Finding himself in a pretty high position. But he is going to have some quick drivers behind him that he's going to have to contend with. So that'll be very interesting to see how it plays out for him. I'm not sure if Neil's going to have the pace to keep up with Cooper Atherton tonight. Cooper is fast on this track. He is really something else out there. But chat, who do you guys think? Who are we rooting for? I know we got some Cooper fans. I see Composite in here, I think it is a Juan fan. So cheering on Juan. Love to see him make up some places. Who else are we rooting for tonight? Let me know in the chat here. But yeah, this should be a great battle. Very exciting race down to turn 1 as we go into this kind of tricky, like double apex hairpin. For me, this is probably the most difficult part on the track outside of the corkscrew. But I'd probably take the corkscrew a little bit slower than most of you guys do. Play it a little safe in there. But where do you find the tricky parts on this track, Spencer?
Yeah, as you said, I mean, this track is a big mix of bermed, banked corners, and then you got a mix of flat corners too. So some of the bermed corners, they really hold you in tight. You can really, smash the gas through and get the traction to hook up. But honestly, like you say, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, all of those flat corners.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Struggle. Yeah, they're absolutely. You're just fighting for grip the whole time and roasting the tires. So. Yeah, I go with that. That first corner is pretty tricky, but honestly, what does it turn to right after the pit exit there? That's probably one of my nemesis.
You know, Spencer, I really thought you were going to come back with a 6, 7.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was in Japan, so it's Roku Nana.
Roku Nana, there you go. All right, well, our little warm-up time is off. The drivers have set their strategies, and they are out of the pit lanes as we ride along for our full outlap that we do here at DRL. We are riding along here currently with Cooper Atherton, who got pole position, as you all know. One thing about DRL here is we do have a mandatory pit stop. You do not have to take tires, you just need to take fuel. The fuel time is not fixed. So it's a lot less time in the pits if you're taking 1 or 2 liters compared to taking 15 or 20 liters. And one thing we saw last week was the drivers that did a splash and dash, as it's called, or just took 2 liters, 3 liters, and went on with the race. They had a huge advantage in the pit lane, saving some time there. So it'll be really interesting to see if all the other drivers follow that strategy today, if that kind of becomes the new quote-unquote meta, if you will. In previous seasons, we saw a fair amount of drivers pit very early. And once they pit, they just kind of did their race. They tried to find some open air and make up that time. So it'll be really interesting to see if everyone goes to this new splash and dash strategy that worked so well last week in Zandvoort. For you, Spencer, when you're doing your pits, what kind of strategy would you take with it?
Yeah, it's 100% the splash and dash. I think the math is the best in that case. Additionally, if you do pick up damage, it gives you options. So the longer that you can delay that pit to work out in most cases. I think the only time that getting in there early is if you maybe have damage early, or if you're trying to undercut or you're stuck in traffic and you want that free air. It's about the only time that I would reconsider. But I'm not a great math wizard when it comes to the undercut overcuts here.
Yeah, it just feels like the races aren't long enough for some of these other strategies to play off. There's not enough time to make up the, 30 seconds it's going to take to get tires put on. You just don't got enough laps, so I think you're right. All right, we are rounding the final turn here as we make our way to the start straight to get ready for our second race in DRL. We got Cooper Atherton and Neil Kerbel ready to get this thing started. Who will hold the position down as we work through our first turn, as we wait for the flag to go green? Cooper Atherton does have the inside line. As the line is green, he's going to have the better position working his way down. Neil's going to really get right next to him as we work our way down. We're going to see it's going to look like Cooper Atherton is going to hold that position as Gav Cook tries to throw his car in the inside on Neil. I don't think he's going to have enough there. And all in all, it looks like we get through, at least from the front of the grid, pretty clean, although John Malott is out. Well, I shouldn't say he's out of the race, but he has fallen back. Let's see if we can catch that. I might have gone back a little too far here. I went back way too far, so we're just going to skip that as we're going to get back onto the track here. Or we're stuck on this replay. Alright, it's alright. We are stuck on the replay watching us go down the start of this race again. As we made our way down, Cooper Atherton held that position well. We'll follow along with John Malott, kind of see what happened here. As it looks like he just ran to the back of car 462, which is Creamy Von Cream. That is a tough position to find yourself in, as you're going to fall down to the back of the pack. All right, we're caught back up here, and it looks like we've had just one small shift. Really, by and large, everyone is where they are. It looks like Kyle Hirsch is just getting past Gavin Cook right now. So Kyle Hirsch has been able to make his way through Gavin Cook to take third position in the race overall. Neil is holding a pretty good gap right now to Cooper Atherton. Cooper Atherton has not been able to run away with this thing yet. He is about 0.8 ahead of Neil Kerbel, and Kyle Hirsch, for reference, is about 2.5 seconds behind Neil Kerbel as well. He's got Gavin Cook behind him. Artur Sermanis is 1.1 seconds behind Gavin Cook, and Daniel Hirsch is 1.6 behind him. Bradley Cooper is 0.7 behind Daniel Hirsch. Juan Lopez is 1.6. As we see Gav look to throw his car and maybe make a move here. I think it's a little bit more of a feint than anything else. Spencer, you are known as one of the great defenders in DRL. When you're defending, how much do these feints really affect you, and what's that strategy that you're taking?
I learned a long time ago to stop watching the rearview mirror so much. I think the only time that I glance at the rearview is because you're looking to make a dive, or maybe they're making some so I'll try to give them extra space, because it definitely doesn't pay to have both cars taken out in a defensive scenario. But ultimately, it's just trying to make the car as wide and predictable as possible while trying to remove as many options of passing as possible. So often that just makes parts of the car just back and trying to force somebody to make a decision that they might not want to make, and then just covering the pass from that. So you just force them to make the decision. Approach. And I'll just call out just real quick that Gavin and I put Department of National Defense on our bumpers this season based on some of the comments we make. So we love that feedback. It's great. It's a part of our car.
All right, you love to hear it. And yeah, I'm sure no one will need that reminder for themselves as they're sitting behind you, but it is there. Something else just to make a notice of is Juan Lopez has been a great winner here, as we're going to ride along with him. He has made his way up quite a few places and finds himself in third place, 0.9 behind Bradley Cooper currently. So Juan Lopez is right there. And Tyler Morgan still finds himself down in the back of the grid. So I'm not sure if there was some type of maybe incident that happened with Tyler Morgan. Let's take a quick look here in our standings.
Yeah, the front of the car looks a little crunched, but the spread in silver was pretty wide.
Yeah, it did. It looks like there was some contact with him and Sathsar. Let's see if we can take a quick look at that replay. Yeah, hard to see here really what happened. But it looks like maybe he might have ran into the back of him or something happened there, so who knows? Let's get on with Hermanis right now, who is 0.4 behind Gavin Cook, and he's got Daniel Hirsch 0.2 right behind him. So we got ourselves a nice little three-way battle as we make our way towards the back section here of the track. As we work our way up towards the corkscrews, all the drivers are going to run a little bit wide there, dip a tire into the sands. And man, Hermanis almost runs to the back of the Gav, back of Gav breaking in, and it looks like Daniel Hirsch is going to try to make a move on the inside. He's going to think better of it as we have a car sliding out. That is Bradley Cooper, who has slid out right there. He is going to lose a few places. That's going to open up for Juan Lopez. Composite, your boy Juan is up to second place, currently right in the battle for potential pole position. We've got Hermanis and Daniel Hirsch still battling it out. Will Daniel Hirsch look to make a move down into the first corner? Hermanis is going to push to get into that inside line a little bit more, and as Spencer would do, he's going to kind of get his car in the middle, but Daniel Hirsch is braking a little later. He's going to look to maybe hit a switchback move. I don't think it's going to stick. He's not quite close enough. Juan the Goat is here in second place. That's right, and he's got a nice little gap here. Let's see if he can close the gap on Hermanis. Hermanis is only losing time battling with Daniel Hirsch here, but I know the competitive side of Hermanis does not want to give this up. Daniel Hirsch is going to line up on the outside and try to make a move down here into the turn. He's going to hold it, keep that pressure. They're going to work their way up the hill towards the corkscrew. This is not a bad position to force a little time, but he's going to have to give it up as they turn into, what is that, turn 5, I believe, turn 6, leading up to the corkscrew, because you just cannot have two cars side by side. They run too wide as we move up to the top of the crest, and Hermanis is going to able to hold that again.
Hermanis is showing some great racecraft here. He's leaving just enough room, but not enough room to give him an advantage. So, you know, Dan's looking to fill Hermanis' mirrors up as much as he can with that car.
Absolutely, and it seems like Hermanis has been watching some Spencer Braun race tape, as he's doing a great job of just keeping his car almost in the middle of the track to not give enough space on the inside and really defend some good acceleration out of the outside as they're working their way down to the first turn again. But this time Daniel Hirsch is going to get the inside line. They're going to get very close to each other, and Daniel Hirsch is going to take that position with Juan Lopez right there alongside of him as well. He wants to get that position too, as they almost touched nose to tip, but they did not. Very close driving there.
Battle.
Yeah, great battle. Daniel Hirsch finally gets through, as Juan Lopez is now making his charge at Hermanis to try to take first place in the silver division. Let's take a look over at the bronze division currently. We have Tarugo still in first place. He's got Bradley Cooper behind him, who's 4/10 behind him. And behind Bradley Cooper is Creamy Von Cream, who is 5.5 seconds behind. So that is nearly 6 seconds, almost 7 seconds to Tarugo is Creamy Von Cream. So if I'm Tarugo, I am probably not trying to put up too much of a fight with Bradley Cooper. I'm just going to let him through because he's right on his tail as they work into the corkscrew. He's throwing it on the inside there. Risky move. Tarugo is just going to let him through there and play the safe game, which I think is a great decision for Tarugo, because you just don't want to risk it with an aggressive driver. Not to say Bradley Cooper is aggressive, but he is driving aggressive because he is trying to make up places after spinning, so he needs to get that time back, and just let him through and continue on your race, because you still have a 5-second lead to the next bronze driver. All right, so let's ride along with Cooper Atherton here. He has got the gap up to 2.2 seconds, which I know the Cooper bots love to see him run away with this, as he's going to do great. And it looks like he is already running up on the back of somebody. Is this Tyler Morgan or Professor Chronotis potentially? No, Tyler Morgan is up there. I'm not sure who he's running into the back of, but he's running into the back of somebody already. We do have two drivers who have taken pits early. Very interesting choices. We had Professor Chronotis, who took an early pit, and we have Tyler Morgan. I'm thinking Tyler probably had too much damage from whatever incident he had, and he took it early. But Tyler has been known to do early pit stops and just stay out on the track and do, I guess, what I've always viewed as a super undercut. So Neil Kerbel is currently 2.7 seconds behind Cooper Atherton. 3 seconds now. And he has Kyle Hirsch behind him, who is at 11 seconds behind him. So a huge gap has formed. And yes, Professor Chronotis and Tyler are getting blue flags by these guys. We're going to see Kyle Hirsch approach Tyler Morgan here, who has a little squirrely on the exit of that turn there. But yeah, Kyle Hirsch is 11 seconds currently back. Behind Kyle Hirsch is Gavin Cook, who is 1.4 seconds behind Kyle Hirsch as he looks to continue his charge. He is currently in first place for the gold drivers. So, Gav is very aware of that as he continues to drive and has a 3.4 second gap on Daniel Hirsch right now, who is in the gold class as well. Artur Simonis is still in first place for the silver division, but 3/10 behind him is Juan Lopez as they make their charge up. The car 462 is out right now. That is Creamy Von Cream, who has gone off the track. Probably ran a little bit wide there. as he works his way back onto the track. But where we were, we have Juan Lopez and Hermani still battling it out. Juan Lopez is 3/10 behind him, and Nicholas Mari is right there, the other car that we're seeing, 7/10 behind Juan Lopez as they work their way. They're going to turn down here into the final turn of the circuit as they're going to make their way down to the main straight. We will see what will happen here. Can Juan make a move? Can he get his car onto the inside, or is Arturus going to block that? Arturus is going to kind of keep that inside line open, but Juan's not going to take it. I think he was a little too far away to take it, as we see somebody coming out the pits there. That looks like that might have been Tarugo coming out of the pits, or Will Sanchez, actually. It's Will Sanchez who's coming out of the pits there.
Oh, no, big old wheel from Lopez, unfortunately. I think that's spot up.
He did, but he's going to be right there. He's going to look to make a move on the inside with Nicholas Mari. That is a great move by Juan Lopez right there. Wow, is he going to be able to hold it? He does have the inside line here as they work their way up to a turn. You need the inside, and yet Nicholas Mari is going to have to back out. There's just there's nowhere to go if you're on the outside there. You just pinch him and you can throw him off track, and you know you're always supposed to give the room, but I don't know if you always can.
Definitely, it's nice to see him recover quick.
All right, so let's continue as we work our way down. I know we are with Nicholas Mari, who is 1.2 seconds right now behind Juan Lopez, who stayed even with all that little shimmy out on the track. He's only 1.5 seconds behind Hermani, so he's still right in that battle. We have our lead driver of the bronze division, which is Tarugo. Tarugo is chasing a big win here, which would be great for him in the point standings as he looks to battle out to get his first ever title here at DRL. 6 seconds behind him is John Millot. John Millot is also battling out for his first DRL title, and he was our winner in the bronze division last race, so he's hoping to keep piling up those points. 1.3 seconds behind Millot is Marian Satsara, who's having a great race out here tonight. A big recovery from what was a disqualified session last week for speeding in the pits, I believe. Then we have Bradley Cooper, who is 2 seconds behind Satsara as he does his recovery drive. We saw him spin out. I'm not sure if there was contact. I should go into the... See, was there any contact for Bradley Cooper there? It looks like there was with him and Daniel Hirsch. It'll be interesting to see if that winds up in the stewards. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. All right, they're kind of running side by side here. A little bit of contact there. So it looks like that contact was pretty minor all in all and not what caused him to spin. So I'm guessing he just lost some traction at some point during that race. Going down the corkscrew, I believe it was. In fourth place overall, we have Creamy Von Cream. Creamy is 6 seconds behind Bradley Cooper, or about 7.5 seconds behind Satsara, who is the next bronze driver. We have Low Tech Bandit. We're going to go over to Creamy Von Cream. It looks like we have lost Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper is out of the race here. I don't know if he has been disconnected. We have had some server issues all in all, but he is out. We are going to continue looking down. We have Low Tech Bandit here, who is, 8.5 seconds or so behind Creamy Von Cream. We have Alan Leung still holding up the rear here in the bronze class. He is about 1 second behind Low Tech Bandit, so he's going to kind of be looking to continue to close that gap. And now we have quite a few drivers who have already pit. Our first place driver who has already pit is Morgan Dino of the gold class. Behind him, about 22 seconds behind him, is Professor Chronotis. We have Tyler Morgan, 16 seconds behind him, and Will Sanchez, 19 seconds behind him as well. That is a big disqualification, no, not disqualification, but disconnection by Bradley Cooper. It's unfortunate for him, but for Tyler Morgan, this has not been a good race for him, and he currently finds himself in 3rd place overall. All he has to do is finish this race, and he's finding himself on a podium. That is going to be big later in the season. You got to be able to take the points when you can. So, sorry to see Bradley Cooper disconnect like that, or whatever happened for Bradley Cooper. But very unfortunate. As we continue what has been quite an exciting race here, let's continue on with Hermanis. Nicholas Mari has got in front of both Hermanis and Juan Lopez. So I don't know if that was Hermanis just letting him through or if he got through on his own pace. But Spencer, as you're going around the track, if you saw someone who clearly had better pace than you, which, let's be frank, there aren't a lot of drivers that do, would you ever choose not to battle with them? Or what was your mindset if you found yourself behind a slower driver that you were needing to overtake?
Yeah, I think, for the most part, it's you make the pass when it's safe to do so. I think when a lot of these guys are out there battling, they're really aware of what class they're in. I appreciate that from when we sometimes catch some of the slower guys, or in the case of Hermanis, who's absolutely crushing a lot of these qualifiers and then is really showing up during the race. Sometimes you just want to battle the cars on track regardless of what class you're in. So it really just depends on where your head's at, whether it's the points race or your ego.
Yeah, very good point that you make there. We see, as we saw there as you were talking, Juan Lopez and Tarugo have both pulled into the pits to make their mandatory pit stop. They're going to work their way out, and let's see where they come in with Hermanis. I don't think he'll probably be coming out in front of... Well, he's definitely not coming out in front of Hermanis, but we'll see. Hermanis is probably going to wait and do a splash and dash, so this is going to kind of just close that up. Alan Leung has got through, and he has got past Low Tech Bandit. Low Tech Bandit is 8 tenths behind him, 9 tenths behind him, so let's see if he can make something happen here during the next 25 minutes or so. And where do the pit stops come into play with all this?
I'll throw it out there that Mr. Dino is famously will jump into the pit early if he gets caught in traffic or if he has any issues. So it's curious to know if maybe he got hung up in traffic or something like that. That was the
Yeah, possibly. And just looking here, I do see there was a few times where some contact was made with Tarugo. Let's take a look at those and see if any damage could have come from them. No, we were following along with Low Tech Bandit there. Let me see what's up with that.
car.
Yeah, he's got quite a few little incidents up here. Yep. Oh yeah, as Chronotis, yeah, threw it on the inside, so maybe he's picked up a little damage along the way that he's had to pull into the pits. So as we were looking at the replays, nothing crazy has happened, but Daniel Hirsch is closing the gap on Gavin Cook. Daniel Hirsch is 9 tenths behind him as he continues to close that gap and catch Gavin Cook. We also have Morgan Dino, who is caught up to Low Tech Bandit and will be probably passing him here fairly soon. He's in a tough part of the track for passing. I don't know if he's going to try to make a move going into the corkscrew or hope that Bandit opens up for him. We will see. He is going to play on the side of caution here as Low Tech Bandit's going to take a very risky route down the outside of the corkscrew. And I think we'll see Morgan be able to make this pass here as we come down the start straight. Cooper Atherton currently is up to almost 7 seconds here on Neil Kerbel, and Kyle Hirsch behind him is 17 seconds. So this is really a race for Cooper Atherton to lose with 6 seconds. It's really him and Neil out there. And let's see, will Morgan be able to make the move down into the first straight? I don't think he's close enough here. He's got still quite a bit of distance, so I don't think he's going to be able to close that gap. Daniel Hirsch is half a second, 5/10 away from Gavin Cook, as he's going to kind of look to throw it in the inside, and whoo, he really had to pull the emergency brake there. Spicy. Yeah, it's spicy, but Gav, if he wasn't aware that he is back there, is definitely aware. A tough turn going into that final start straight to have to really slam on your brakes that way, because you just lose that momentum coming down the straight, and we see that gap open up a little bit. But let's follow along with this battle here for a little bit, because this is our closest battle on the track currently. Follow along from our helicopter. We pay good money here at DRL for a helicopter out on the track, so let's enjoy some time on it. As Gav Cook almost looks like he's sliding out, drifted through that turn. I think it just might be the camera and the physics of it. But yep, he is working his way through as Daniel Hirsch continues to close that gap. You almost need to force a mistake here, or you have a few turns where you can kind of throw it in the inside, as we've seen some drivers do. I think Daniel right now is just kind of backing off a little bit and will look to make his charge after the corkscrew here into one of the final turns on the track. He's going to take a little bit of curb there on the corkscrew, and that's going to cause him to lose a few tenths. He's about 1 second back now on our current timetable. We got Alan Leung pulling into the pits as well, so we'll see where he comes out. And as we've been watching this battle, Morgan Dino has successfully got past Low Tech Bandit. Creamy Von Cream is next on his list. So Morgan will go get himself some cream.
You know, as we watch this battle, something I'd like to call out just from a racing perspective is that it's always interesting to me to see the gap accordion, as different drivers have different strengths and weaknesses. So you'll see like Gavin's going to pull away in a few sections here, and then Dan's going to catch him in a few other spots, and you'll see that gap kind of accordion when the skill sets are they're just different strengths and weaknesses. So it's always makes it tough, because then you're like, well, where do I have to cover, and where can I get away and give myself a little breathing?
Yeah, it really is, and the car choices really play into that too. You know, you have certain cars that are just absolute powerhouses down on the straights, but they lose a lot of time through those turns, and yeah, it can be tough if you're in a car that just doesn't have that straight line speed like some of them, but once you get into kind of the windy parts of the track, you can run away with it. So yeah, it is always really interesting to see where you can close the gaps and where you can make them up here. As Daniel Hirsch has fallen 1.5 seconds behind Gav Cook, he comes kind of up on the sand a little bit there. He's going to be about 2 seconds back now, so Gav is going to live for a couple more laps. Let's ride along with John Malott here. He is chasing down Nicholas Mari. You may be wondering, how did Malott get behind Nicholas Mari? That is because Nicholas Mari has just come out of the pits. So he has come out of the pits, and he has held the position from Morgan Dino. He is about 16 seconds ahead of Morgan, so he's got a nice little gap there to hold that position, which looks like it's currently going to be third place overall for the gold class. Cooper Atherton has extended his gap to 9 seconds now. Neil's extended his gap to 18 seconds. And outside of that, we don't really see too many close battles. We got Low Tech Bandit and Creamy Von Cream, who are deciding to take their pit stops. I gotta say, this has been fascinating as Malott's pulling into the pit stop as well. Fascinating options for the pit lane, as we saw it worked so well to pit within the final 2 or 3 minutes of the pit window. And I mean, half the grid, if not more, has already taken a pit, and we still have 15 minutes left in our pit window. So this has been, like I said, just fascinating. For our Cooper bots out there, we are going to ride along with Cooper Atherton here. Get along in the passenger seat. Give our little buddy a pat on the back as he is going to make a move and get past. Let's see, who is this that he is passing? This might be Will Sanchez that he's working his way past. just think Will Sanchez gets to go home tonight and tell his family that I was on the track with the great Cooper Atherton. How about that? Let's take a ride along here with Will Sanchez. The nice livery out there. The old poker star, it looks like. So he's going to work his way down the corkscrew. Will Sanchez is Creamy Von Cream has got disqualified from the race. We have I'm guessing, speeding in the pits again. What we saw from some drivers as Will Sanchez is going to make quite the evasive action there to let the faster drivers through. You love to see the clean racing by Will Sanchez, who's going to pull into the pit lanes now. Let's get back along with Cooper Atherton while we talk about the pit lane issues. What we saw last week that drivers did was they flipped it into second gear as they left the pit lanes. And Spencer Braun, it is a memory of mine that I think it was either you or Don Fossman that did that in Silverstone last year. Or last season.
Yeah, that was terrible. What a way to go out is speeding in the pit lane. If you, like I did, I forgot to engage the pit limiter because it remembers that you had an engagement on the pit. Or, as you said, if you shift into second gear, it disables the pit limiter. So, really a tough way to go out, but
that you do. As we see Professor Chronotis, who is battling for position with John Malott here, as they go down into the first hairpin of the turn. Malott's going to hold the inside, and Professor Chronotis is going to have to back out of it, although if he stayed tight, he might have been thrown on the inside, but is it a risk you want to take? We are 3/10 behind John Malott here as he looks to make a move, and Arturas Hermanis is right behind them as well. Hermanis has not pit, so these two drivers should be getting blue flagged. And are going to need to let him through. I'm not sure. There we go. It looks like one is letting him through, and Malott will probably let him through leading up into the corkscrew if I was guessing. That is going to be big. All right, so we have Neil Kerbel, who has decided to pull into the pit lanes, as Professor Chronotis is staying right behind with Hermanis here. Yep, Malott is getting blue flagged. I expect him to move out of the way. John Malott is... Oh, as we see Hermanis go off! Hermanis has gone off the track there.
Oh no.
Let's see if we can get back about 15 seconds and follow along with what just happened there. As he went down... and he just loses it going down the corkscrew. You hate to see it. You know Hermanis is going to be frustrated with a blue flag driver in front of him. It's a tough spot for a blue flag driver to get out of anyone's way, but that is a big spin-off for Hermanis. He should have, let's see, this could be problematic. We will have to see where he comes out because Juan Lopez has been right behind him all race, and that is a lot of time lost. Juan Lopez, who we're following along with, is looking to make a pass on Seth Sara. He is about 4/10 behind him as they're going to lead their way up towards the corkscrew. But that is a big spin right there. A lot of time lost for Hermanis, who is one of 5 drivers or so who have not pit yet. And we see Juan Lopez making his way through some blue flagged drivers as he continues his push. This is a big opportunity. Juan's got to put up some times. He's got to clear traffic fast because he definitely has a win potential here with this issue from Hermanis. Let's see what else we can follow along with. Let's take a look at Seth Sara here. Seth Sara is right behind, I believe that is Will Sanchez. Will Sanchez should be getting blue flagged here. And nope, that's not Will Sanchez. Who was that? That was Tarugo. Seth Sara is right there on Tarugo right now. I wonder if something happened with Tarugo. Seth Sara has absolutely closed that gap, and they are battling out for the first place position in the bronze class. Wow. Tarugo's pushing that pace out a little bit more. I'm going to have to take a look here and see, was there any incidents, any contact with Tarugo? Nope, nothing except a few little bumps in the start of the race here. So Tarugo is looking to expand that gap out a little bit. That's currently at a second. That is something to keep an eye on. But man, my mind is still just stuck on Hermanis. What a move there. Let's see. Cooper Atherton has not pit yet. Kyle Hirsch is 30 seconds behind Cooper Atherton currently. So Cooper Atherton has come out to make the Cooper bots proud, and he has done that with a great race here. He's got 15 more minutes basically to go, and sometime in the next 9 minutes he will pull into the pit lanes and make that pit stop, but he has plenty of time right now. He has Neil, about 45 seconds behind him, so I don't think he'll be feeling too much pressure at all when the best time for the pit stop is. Kyle Hirsch, he was about 18 seconds, 19 seconds behind Neil Kerbel by the time Neil came into the pits. So he's got a lot of making up to do here. And Gavin Cook in the gold, he has had a little bit of a gap here. Daniel Hirsch has pit. Gavin Cook has not. So it'll be very interesting to see where they come out. Gav is right on the fringe of... excuse me, right on the fringe of the pit times. Let me see if I can view some statistics here on pit stop times. So we're anywhere from 35 seconds to a minute if we had some repairs for the time in the pit lane. So it'll be very interesting to see where Gav comes out. And when he decides, I mean, he's going to make a quick splash and dash. I got to think at this point, he's not going to need very much fuel.
Good job of keeping that gap to Kyle as well. Kyle's pretty quick dude, so it's nice to see Gav keep pace.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to hop on with Sassar, who is looking to make a move on Tarugo on the outside here. We come right into a battle. Tarugo's going to bump doors with him a little bit and say, watch out, buddy, this is my division. And behind Sassar, who is that coming through? We got a blue flag driver coming through. That might have been Neil Kerbel. It was Neil Kerbel. So Neil Kerbel is there, and he is going to kind of cause some issues here. Sassar has fallen a second and a half behind Tarugo. Let's see if he can close that gap as Tarugo lets, can't even think right now. He lets Neil Kerbel come through, and we got a battle on our hands as Sassar is still 4/10 behind him, and he is going to be breathing down Tarugo's neck. Tarugo has absolutely got to be feeling this pressure here. You know he wants this win, and when you take a look at the clock and you see there's 12 minutes left, you know you're in for a long race as Sassar is going to look to throw it in the inside. This is a good place to find yourself on the inside. He's just going to end up backing out and avoid any type of contact, but that is the turn you want to find your car positioned on the inside, because you will be able to hold that position and the person on the outside will suffer the consequences. We are coming down the corkscrew. Sassar is going to run a little bit wide. It is always very risky going wide in that section of the track because you just lose grip so easily and can spin. And that is going to give Tarugo a little bit of breathing room. He's got about a second breathing room right now, but Sassar is instantly going to close that again as they're going to make their way down towards the main straight. Let's also take a look here as we have Juan Lopez, who looks to be making a pass on Morgan Dino there. So Juan Lopez is going to get in front of Morgan Dino. He's going to make that pass stick. Good job, Juan. You keep pushing up as he is currently in second place. He is in third place. He is in second place right now in silver. And with Hermani's not having come into the pit lane yet, he is finding himself in great position. As we're going to continue to follow Sassar along with Tarugo here, as this is our closest battle on the track. We see Hermani's in the pit lane, so we are going to monitor that, and we are going to see where he comes out of the pit lane as well, because this is going to be big for Juan Lopez.
Sassar doing a good job trying to stay focused here. I mean, 35 minutes in, and it's tough to keep your focus, hyper-focused that long. At this point, he's going to be making a push, but trying to not make mistakes and try to stay focused. Definitely a tough thing to do.
As he looks again to get his car on the inside, a good move opportunity, but he's just not going to be able to make that stick. But they're going to come up to the start straight, and this is going to be a good turn right up here to try to throw your car on the inside. He's going to choose not to do that, and he's going to maybe make a look down in turn one as Will Sanchez is going to back out and get out of their way. As we have a car stopped on the track there. I am not sure who that was sitting on the track, but that is not what you want to see as you're coming across the track to get out of the way of one blue flag driver to someone parked down on the main straight. That is a risky spot. That is car 402. Who is car 402? That is Kyle Hirsch. No, that isn't. It is Kyle Hirsch. Kyle Hirsch is parked on the track. I don't know what's happened to Kyle Hirsch. He is teleported to the pits. This is huge, folks. What has happened to Kyle Hirsch? The great mystery. Do we have anything here that's showing something that has happened to Kyle Hirsch? No, I don't know what's happened to Kyle Hirsch. The world may never know. But what the world will know is that Arturus Hermanis did get in front of Juan Lopez. He came out of the pits 2.5 seconds behind him. So we have a battle for first place in the silver class, and we have a battle still for first place in the bronze class. So bronze and silver bring in some action-packed excitement tonight as Sassar continues his charge on Tarugo as he's going to get so close to him. He is 3/10 behind him as they work their way to the final turn of the track and work their way down towards the main straight. Will Sassar have an opportunity here? A little bit cleaner of a track. Cooper Atherton has taken his pit stop, so he is good. He is still about 18 seconds ahead of Neil Kerbel. So as we thought, Cooper Atherton has just a nice 8-minute drive around Laguna Seca to enjoy some beautiful weather, beautiful scenery, and collect a win. Gavin Cook still needs to take his pit stop. He is really pushing close on that gap. He's got a little less than 3 minutes to make his pit stop, and I got to think he's going to be pulling in this lap. Kyle Hirsch, though, is our developing story. What has happened to our Hirsch brother here?
Shout out to Tarugo to keeping his calm and cool as well, because he's doing a good job at just keeping a real consistent pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Sassar's run a little bit wide here, but we're going to move over to Juan Lopez, who's right on the back of Arturus Hermanis. Another driver, half a second behind him as they're turning down towards the main straight. Arturus runs a little bit wide there, and this is going to give a good opportunity for Juan Lopez if he can get it down on the inside. He is going to be able to close the gap down on this main straight. Can his Lamborghini overpower the Ford? And he's going to throw it in on the inside. He is going to make that move on the inside. What a bold move. That is a great move by Juan Lopez. He's not going to be able to make it stick. Hermanis is going to get a little bit of better traction out of that turn, but they're wheel to wheel as Hermanis is going to force him a little bit wide. He's going to bump his doors also. And with that, it looks like Juan Lopez has gone off the track. He's held traction very well there. All right, he's managed to keep himself in the battle. He's a second as they were trading spaces there. Woo, that was exciting. All right, and we have Professor Chronotis. Professor Chronotis is putting the pressure on John Malott right now as they make their way down the main straight. Will he be able to get by here? Satsar is at a second and Juan Lopez is at a second. So we have a minute to breathe here as we get into our final 6 minutes of the race, and maybe not if Professor Chronotis can keep the pressure on. I mean, these are the three battles. Everything else besides that is pretty spread out. Professor Chronotis kind of making himself a little bit wide, getting in the mirrors of John Malott and brushing up on the dirt a little bit. He's going to throw his car on the inside, and I think Chronotis will be able to get that move to stick. He will be able to get that move to stick, as actually that was a pretty good switchback move by Malott there. He decided not to push it too much, but that was good. So Chronotis has made that overtake. We have Gavin Cook in the pit currently. Where will he come out in relation to Daniel Hirsch? Will we have a three-class battle here? A battle in the gold, in the silver, and the bronze? Still, Satsara, we will pop over to him here. He is 1.4 seconds behind Tarugo. Tarugo's able to push that gap. Juan Lopez is about 1 second behind him. Let's follow along with Daniel Hirsch and Gavin Cook to see where they come out. 1 second gap right now. I see Gav coming out there. This is going to be tight. This is going to be very close, and it looks like Gavin is just able to hold that position by 1 second. So we are going to have a three-way battle here. Kyle Hirsch, he has come out of the pit lane, so I'm not sure what happened, but he is getting a stop-and-go 30-second penalty. So not sure what all is going on with Kyle Hirsch, but we have a battle now between Daniel Hirsch. We have a battle with Hermani's has gone off the track, and we had Juan Lopez make a pass there. So Juan Lopez has taken first place in the silver division ahead of Arturas Hermanis. Gosh, I don't know if we're going to be able to catch that. Let's see if we can go back 15 seconds and maybe see what happened there. No, we can't, unfortunately. And this is where we're at. And we're going to pop over to Daniel Hirsch. Daniel Hirsch is half a second behind Gavin Cook. It is going to take us a second to get back live. We are back live here, 3/10. So you know Gavin is feeling the pressure here. Spencer, you raced with Gavin. You know how he's very aware of the time and the situation. What do you think is going through Gav's mind?
Yeah, I think he's going to live into the Department of Defense label on the bumper there and just try to make that car as far as possible, because Dan's obviously going to look to make a move on him at any point, but keep his cool and just make that car nice and wide.
Yep, and we've seen how difficult this track can be to pass on. A lot of the overtakes are happening when a driver makes a mistake, so hopefully Gav can get himself a cup of tea and continue his drive forward. South Sara has fallen 2.5 seconds behind Tarugo. So Tarugo has managed to find some pace. Tarugo is driving the Porsche, and as you know, and a lot of drivers had said, the Porsche can be very difficult to continue to drive at the end of the race. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the way the Porsche is built is the engine is just slightly behind the rear axle, which makes it already a bit of a handful when the weight starts to shift out the back. But if you look at where the gas tank is situated perfectly in between the front wheels, and so what that means is when the gas gets light, the front end gets light, and you start to understeer real bad, you start pushing through the corners. So personally, I don't mind having a little extra fuel. I like to have the race with a bunch of extra gas. I don't have to worry about running out. So it'll be curious to see how Gav manages that out with Daniel trying to make a push here.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are following them down the main straight here. And once again, Gav is going to be able to hold position for these final 2 minutes as Daniel is right on his bumper there, almost giving him a little kiss, as he's going to try to throw it on the inside there. And that's not going to work for Daniel Hirsch there. What an exciting finish here. Let's see, Juan Lopez is 2.5 seconds ahead of Hermanis. So it looks like whatever happened there, maybe Hermanis picked up some damage. Maybe there was a little bit of contact. We'll have to find out from them. But this is still our battle as Daniel Hirsch is going to throw it in on the inside here. I think he's going to, I lied, he is not going to try to hold it. A very risky place. They're going to just go on and... Go ahead.
I think that's tactic. He's just trying to show him a little bumper in the corner. He might not want to commit to it, but it's enough to put the other guy on edge and maybe a breaking point.
As Gavin's going to spin off there. Sorry to cut you off, but Gavin loses traction. I am just losing my mind out here right now. Gavin Cook is feeling the pressure there as he's going to go wide. Let us go back and take a look at what happens there.
Same spot as Archer's.
Yep, and you saw going down that corkscrew, it can be so tricky to make something happen, as we are going to follow along with Hermanis and Juan Lopez. And while we were on replay, Hermanis was able to close that gap and get ahead of Juan Lopez. God, let's see if we can go back and see what happened between them. Yeah, I don't know if Lopez and him had some contact and Lopez is just giving that back, but it did not look like Lopez really defended that position very hard. But Lopez is getting back in front of Hermanis right now. They are wheel to wheel, and Lopez is going to make a great move stick, as we were kind of looking at replay there. thinking he was going to run away with it. But Lopez is back, and we got guys trading positions left and right. And oh yeah, as we're talking, Satsara has closed that gap again, and he is 8/10 away. I don't know who to watch, Hermanis, Lopez, or Satsara and Tarugo. We will try to go back and forth between these two. We are on the final lap of the race here, as time has just expired. We have two great battles that were falling. Gavin Cook has been able to manage to keep his car on track enough to hold that position, as Satsara is looking to make a move. And
last chance.
yeah, last chance as we go through here, although I think they might have one more lap potentially after this. Yep. They got one more, so this is his opportunity. He's got to make something happen here. Can Tarugo hold it for one more lap? We've seen so many drivers cave under the pressure. As we've been talking, Hermanis is a full second behind Juan Lopez now. So Juan Lopez is looking to come through for his fans here in Twitch and make a victory for Juan Lopez, which I'm not sure if this would be his first victory in DRL or not. Every night I say it's their first victory, and they end up DMing me after the race saying, actually, I've won before. But this is a huge win. Anytime you win is huge. As Satsara, this would be a first win for him, as it's only his second race in DRL, as he's right on the back. He's got a good opportunity here if he can keep it on the inside just enough. Will he look to make a move? He is going to play safe and back out of it. Second place sometimes. Oh, Tarugo looks like he lost a little bit of traction there. They're going to be wheel to wheel. They're bumping doors as they're working their way to the corkscrew. Satsara's got the better line on the inside. And is Tarugo going to run to the back of him? No, he's not. Satsara's going to make the overtake on the last lap, leading up to the corkscrew. I cannot believe it right now. What an overtake. Great race for Satsara. He's held his position to the last minute. Can he hold it into the final positions here? We will see. We are seeing drivers cross the line. Juan Lopez, congratulations. You did get first place in silver overall. Arturas Hermanis got second place, and Tyler Morgan got third, as expected. Tarugo's going to run wide there, and what a race tonight. Satsara, congratulations on your first win here at DRL. What an exciting race, and what a battle between you and Tarugo. We're going to see Cooper Atherton has been long gone from this race, as he got first place overall. We got Neil Kerbel, Daniel Hirsch, Gavin Cook is in second place overall for the gold. Nicholas Mari, great race. Juan Lopez, huge congratulations. What a victory for Juan Lopez. What a battle with him and Hermanis. I hope they're in the green room tonight, because I want to hear all about that. Satsara and Tarugo, what a race. Professor Krunotis, great recovery. John Malott, great race. A great race up and down the board. Whew, give me a second here. I'm going to move over to intermission for a minute as I catch my breath, but what a race tonight.
Yes.
No brakes, no fear, no slowing down. The checkered flag is calling.
kind of watching, getting a few replays pulled up. I am not using ACC TV like we have previously used, so we're going to follow along with the drivers that join us. Let's get our first driver in here, which is Tarugo. Let's pull him in and we can talk to him about his race tonight. Tarugo, welcome to the stream. What a race tonight. Unfortunate finish to the race, but man, I was losing my mind in the booth tonight watching this. Talk me through it. Yeah, and we got Spencer here in the booth with us as well, and Spencer is also a Porsche driver, and he was talking a little bit about just how difficult that car can be to drive at the end of the race. Have you noticed that? And any regrets on being in the Porsche?
Definitely the tires towards the end, like Spencer was saying, just the tires. It just felt, I was going so slow. All of a sudden I'm in the 125s and I can't for the life of me keep the times up. So I was watching in my mirror, making sure I was getting my apexes, but at the same time trying to defend Marion, who was doing an incredible job. It was awesome.
You guys did an incredible job. Man. Like that was phenomenal. Nice job keeping it as well.
Oh, that was it was tight. It was tight. It was great. Oh man, I've not had that close of racing, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I do apologize. I did not have my Discord audio on as we started that interview, so we're just going to kind of circle back and say that was just an absolute great race and a battle that you had starting off. But yeah, kind of walk us through it again. Sorry to make you repeat yourself, but kind of your mindset behind that whole battle.
Honestly, keep them behind me. I knew that my car was rear limited. I kept on spinning the rears and it just wouldn't power out of the corners like it was at the beginning. But great racing, just having to defend, but also trying to keep ahead and making sure I don't go out off track. It was incredible. Clean racing. It was really nice. I appreciate it. Thanks, Marion.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what a race. I'm so looking forward to the season in the bronze class. It has been an absolute battle, both races so far, and I cannot wait to see what you guys bring to the table on the mystery track. What's your opinion on the mystery tracks?
I like them. I'm excited for them. I kind of wanted like a Nürburgring or a Bathurst just because why not? But I understand that we need a little bit of time for that for practice, but I really much enjoy them. I like the surprises. The wet weather would be chill, like just something different, especially given it's a mystery. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think we will punish you guys that much with wet weather. But Bathurst absolutely could be a track that is pulled for the mystery track list. It is one that's eligible. The only track that's not is the 24-hour Nords. Yeah, because it is just too much track to learn. The qualifying is difficult with it. So yeah, outside of that, anything that's on the calendar is fair game. So Tarugo, great race tonight. We cannot wait to watch you next week. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Guys, take care.
All right, and with that, let's bring in the bronze champion himself, Marian Satsara. Welcome to the stream. What an absolute battle tonight. We just talked to Tarugo, who we watched you battle alongside with. But if you want to unmute, let us know, how are you feeling after such an incredible race?
Hello. Yeah, it was amazing actually. What a battle I had to go through.
Yeah, now first win here in DRL. You know, I was joking with Spencer on here. Every time someone wins, I always say it was their first win. But yeah, really your first win in DRL, and what a race. I mean, we followed along with that, and just the patience that you had throughout the race, and just in that final moment going into the corkscrew, we were able to watch you take that position. I mean, what was going through your mind as you saw that position open and you know you were taking it?
Yeah, what went through my mind was I knew I have to be very patient, otherwise I would go on the glass. So yeah, that was really. Yeah, I was planning to stay on check P2, but somehow I managed to get to P1 and win the podium.
Yeah, well, it was a great race. Like I said, we really enjoyed watching your race. You put on a great show for the stream tonight. I hope you get a chance to check out the stream and enjoy it, because it was so exciting watching your guys' battle. And Spencer can say I just lost my mind when you made that overtake. It was so exciting. It is a tough position to be in, because you don't want to risk it too much and lose that second place position. But it was a beautiful mastercraft of a move, and we really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for joining us on stream, and enjoy your victory. It was a great race tonight.
Thank you also. I really enjoyed this community.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Next, let's bring in another champion. Winner of the silver division, Juan Lopez. Juan, welcome to the stream. How are you feeling after an incredible race?
Sweaty.
I bet. So, okay, there was a couple close battles. We really followed along with you and Hermione's a lot. I mean, it was an incredible battle. We jumped over to watch Marion, South Sara, and Tarugo battling it out in the bronze division. We look up, and then you're ahead of Tarugo, and then it almost looked like you gave him a pass back down a straight. Was there some type of contact there in the last minute or two where you gave a position back to him and then made another overtake?
No, that was actually totally a goof on my end. I hit the bump on turn 3 and almost sent myself to the wall.
Okay, yeah, because we pulled over and we could kind of see you moving a little slower, but that makes a lot of sense. But man, I mean, just trading places the way that you guys did there at the end. We saw Hermione spin on the corkscrew, which opened up the race completely for you once the pit stops came into play. I mean, at what point did you realize oh, I could win this race tonight?
I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't. I was just focused on trying to put the best, cleanest laps, keep running 123s, and at the end it ended up working out.
Yeah, well, man, it was a very exciting race. Spencer, do you got something for Juan?
Oh, just unbelievable racing. I mean, it was a pleasure watching you and Archers just trade places back and forth and really keep your nose clean. You guys put on a great show. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you get a chance to go back and watch the stream. We really enjoyed watching your guys' battle. And again, at least I was losing my mind here in stream between all these different battles that we had. It was a very exciting finish in a lot of classes. You had a big show in here in our Twitch chat. A couple guys out here were really pulling for you to make the win. So you came through for Twitch. You came through for the chat. All your fans. The crowds are going wild for Juan Lopez tonight. Now, is this your first victory in DRL?
I think so. I think this is my first win in the series.
All right.
In TRL in general. Yeah.
I'm 2 for 2 on it. You know, the kind of running joke here is I always say, oh, is this driver's first victory every time they win? And then I get a DM from them after the race. Oh, I've actually won 4 times. So, anyways, I'm glad to know that it was in fact your first win. So we think, until I get a DM otherwise. But yeah, congratulations, Juan. It was an incredible race. We really enjoyed watching it. It was so exciting. And you did a great job of navigating the field and making the moves when it mattered and holding the defense when you had to. So thank you so much for putting on a great show, and we cannot wait to see what's in store next week with you.
I got next week out on Laguna Seca is one of my favorites, so
you know, I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad I'm not alone here. And next week we have a mystery track. I'm not sure if you've been with us when we've done the mystery tracks before, but basically any track that is not on the calendar besides 24-hour Nords is eligible to be on the track. We will post a wheel spinning in Discord that will show at 8 p.m. on race night what is the track, and that is when the track opens up. So no one will have any opportunity to practice this week. Everyone will have a 1 hour practice session, and we will start qualifying and race. So everyone is going to be a little bit on the back foot, but if you're a driver who doesn't have a lot of time during the week to practice, it is a huge advantage for you.
That sounds extra exciting. I bet it's going to be Bathurst in the wet. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, we don't punish you guys with the wet. It'll be a dry race, but but you're the second driver to request that, so I don't know. Maybe the
Watch, he's gonna throw the Uno reverse. It's gonna be wet Bathurst.
It is spooky season. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
All right, Juan, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go here. You have a great night, and thank you so much for a good race. Tyler Morgan, I do apologize. I just saw your DM. I wasn't intentionally trolling you. For those of you who don't know, it is about 4 in the morning for Tyler Morgan on Mars. But Tyler, talk to us about your race tonight.
I literally did nothing. I literally was 3 seconds off the pace of most bronzes, and I've somehow podiumed in my class.
I know. I'm not sure what happened with Bradley Cooper, if it was a disconnect or a rage quit or what happened, but it worked out very well in your favor, and we did talk about it in stream. And but it is moments like this where you just stick to it and you show up that can have a big impact on the overall standings at the end of the season. So I got to think that you're pretty happy walking away from this with a podium, and maybe not what you thought was going to happen starting this, going through the practice week.
Yeah, going through the practice this week, I knew Laguna Seca was going to be trouble. Technical circuits like this are always a trouble for me, just because you have to be so careful with throttle and brake management, and the wheel and the corkscrew in and of itself can just completely ruin a race. So you have to be really careful and mindful of that. And I just honestly, after the first lap, where I think I occurred like 20 seconds damage, I just kind of took my early pit stop as I usually do, but it really wasn't to do an over or do an undercut. It was just to kind of be by myself and just drive around in peace. So I didn't have to deal with any other drivers, and I just kind of drove my own race, and I guess I got a podium out of it. So
yeah, and this is second podium in the silver class, which we thought going into it you were gonna maybe struggle a little bit in the class moving up a division, but so far 2 for 2 on podiums. So is the gold class in your horizon maybe for next race?
You're gonna make me laugh, Dan. It's 1:30 in the morning. I wake up in 3 hours. Don't make me laugh.
All right, Tyler. Well, I will let you go here. Thank you for joining us. Get some beautiful sleep, and we will see you next week for a exciting mystery track.
I hope it's one I can drive.
All right, and he is gone. And we got one last driver to bring in. Some will say we've saved the best for last, and some will say we saved the one who spun out in the last minute on the corkscrew and ruined all the excitement. Welcome to the stream, Gav Cook. How you feeling after that race?
A little bit up, a little bit down. I'm looking at the replay now, and I just don't know what happened. I'd even got through the corkscrew, and it was like after the corkscrew where the back end just lost it. It was like 10 liters left, so the Porsche gets a bit squirrely and when the low fuel hits like that, so I'm gonna blame the Porsche for that and not my super duper talent.
Yeah, fair enough. It is a really tricky part of the track. A lot of times I drive it, I feel it's just like it's almost like RNG. Just every 37 times someone drives over that hill, they just spin their car out. It actually happened to Hermani's earlier in the race too, where he just spun out there, and it felt like I didn't really see anything happen with him either. So I feel like sometimes you just go down on a weird angle. But man, that was a battle with you and Daniel there. We, as having your two ex-teammates, well, a current teammate and an ex-teammate here on stream, we were both really pulling for you to hold that position and really live up to your Ministry of Defense title. But an unfortunate spin. But how exciting was that battle for you?
Yeah, it was fun. The first part of the race was battling with Kyle, and then I dropped a couple of seconds behind, and then I noticed Daniel was catching me. I was like, oh, here we go. And then, yeah, once he caught up to me, he bumped me, and then he just fell right back. We were on comms together, and he was just like, he was so confused as to what was going on and why he'd lost pace, because my pace was kind of very, very similar all race. And then, yeah, I went into the pits and screwed my pit stop up, so that I guess that's why he was so close when I got out. But he probably had some good times anyway after the pits. But yeah, everything was so squirrely after the pit stop. So I was hoping to hold on to it because I was defending pretty good whenever he made a lunge. So yeah, it was disappointing to do it by myself. But you know, P2's pretty good, so I'll take that.
Yeah, now
we're gonna have to pay extra to our Department of Defense sponsor just because you didn't hold on to it. Right?
Yeah, your taxes just went up, buddy. But we got some guys in our chat here saying that you ran out of talent, Gav. Would you like to respond to them?
Screw them. Yeah, of course it was freaking Bert.
And Spencer was saying something about mandatory driver safety classes too.
Yeah. You know, going back to that corkscrew part, we watched Archers and Gavin. You lose traction there, and it's a weird spot to lose traction, but for some reason there's just a weird hole there that just lets the back end step out. It was so really weird. Sketchy.
Like when I went back to the replay, I was like, oh, maybe I hit the green section, like the second part of the corkscrew, too hard. But when I looked at it, it was fine. It was just like the same line that I always take, but just something jumped straight after the corkscrew. It just kind of back end flew out, and I can't catch this thing at all. So yeah, trip to the wall, let Daniel through for P1. So yeah. It was good. I like qualifying P3 overall, and then having a really good race. It was frustrating to do that all by myself, but yeah, I was happy that was quick again.
Yeah, well, great race, Gav. We really enjoyed watching your battle out there. I do hope you get a chance to go back and watch the stream because we really enjoyed watching yours and Daniel's battle. We saw all the action unfold at the end there. It did feel a little bit like Daniel was closing that gap leading up to you taking a pit stop as we were watching the times. Even without a little bit of a pit air, I think it would have been still pretty close all in all to him. Because he definitely found that pace towards the end of the race. But yeah, it was so exciting watching your battle. Thank you for joining us here on the stream, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, Gav.
Big boys.
All right, Spencer. Well, we've come to the end of our race. Thank you so much for joining me here in the booth. Will we see you next week on the mystery track?
Yep. Absolutely. As the others said, the mystery track is actually a really fun element, and it's interesting to see the difference because it's a bit of an equalizer when it comes to practice. Not everybody gets a chance to practice more than others. So, I'm really excited for it. I'm bummed I've missed a couple, but I'm super excited to have been able to join you in the booth, and really excited for next week's race.
Awesome. Is there a track that you're hoping might get picked, or hoping one that doesn't get picked?
Dry Bathurst. I'm not a what do you say, like a sadist or whatever. Like I don't really want to do Bathurst in the rain, and it's one of my favorites. So that would be a big dream. And then probably at the bottom of the list would be was it Monza?
Interesting. Yeah, we got Monza pulled one time, and it was just a mess out there.
Man.
I think it's a track that like so many people drive right when they start the game that no one ever wants to go back to it. So you find yourself on the track, and it's just there's so much speed, and the braking points matter so much that it gets tricky out there. But yeah, we're so excited to have you back. We're so glad to hear that you enjoyed your international travels, getting to explore a different country a little bit and spread the great DRL name. Morgan said to send him all your invoices, and they will be written off as company expenses. But thank you so much for joining us in the booth today. We really enjoyed getting to have one of our drivers join us and give a little bit insight as how it goes. And we are so excited to see you continue your hot streak here in DRL.
Yeah, thanks, man. And you do a phenomenal job of this. You really make it an enjoyable watch, and it was fun hanging out with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Spencer. All right. Well, with that, we are getting to wrap up to the end of our stream here. we are going to take a quick look at the schedule. We are through with Zandvoort. We are through with Laguna Seca. But next up, we have our mystery track. As we said during our interviews, we will spin a wheel and we will see what track will come. The only tracks it will not be is Zandvoort, Laguna Seca, Red Bull Ring, Oulton Park, Donington Park, or Suzuka, and of course no 24-hour Nords either. Very excited to see what comes next week. We will give an update before the race, just like we did today, on how the standings played out and if any penalties will find themselves applied that could alter the standings. We had a lot of close finishes. A penalty here or a penalty there could alter the standings, especially in the bronze, gold, and silver classes. Thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you that stopped in tonight, chatted with us, hung out with us, and spent some of your personal time with us here at DRL. We love each and every one of you, and we are looking forward to our next race. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.